Hey there, Wastelanders, and welcome back to War Games News Radio for another Fallout Wasteland Warfare Legends of the Wasteland Battle Report. In our last episode, we played a battle report based on the original Fallout video game, and this time we're fast forwarding to Fallout 2, where the descendant of the Vault Dweller, the Chosen One, is going to attempt to take down the Enclave in their oil rig hideout. In this custom scenario, I'm using the Into the Vault expansion rules. If you want to take a look at how that randomly generated dungeon crawl expansion works, you can check out the link popping up here. There are 6 random rooms that the Chosen One and their companions could encounter with different enemies, buffs, and loot specific to those rooms. But which ones we'll encounter is going to be up to the luck of the draw as we move from room to room to room. We'll encounter random enemies as we make our way through the oil rig to the final encounter with Frank Horrigan himself. This ended up being the longest battle report in WGNR history, so let's get into the action on Oil Rig Escape. Let's hit it. In this scenario, our survivors will need to make their way through the Enclave oil rig through 3 randomly generated rooms before trying to convince Sergeant Granite to join their side in the final boss fight with Frank Horrigan himself. The first 3 rooms at the front of the board here will be generated as we move into them using the Into the Vault expansion cards. There are 6 different rooms we could encounter, each with a different set of enemies, features, computers we can hack, and buffs, which might help us out in the final fight against Frank. So depending on which cards we draw, this could be a walk in the park or a really tough fight. Each room will also spawn 2 searchables, which we can interact with to hopefully gain some weapons or items that will help us out in this battle. Then in the 4th room, we will encounter Sergeant Granite, who, much like his video game counterpart, we might be able to convince to join our side in the battle against Frank Horrigan. This will come down to a charisma test, and if we pass, Granite's on board. If we fail, well, we're gonna have to get through him before we get to Frank. In the final chamber, we will encounter Frank Horrigan. Frank is a legendary unit, and we will be facing off against all 3 of his legendary unit variants. So yeah, this is going to be a hell of a time. Along with his plasma gun and sword, Frank is equipped with 2 machine gun Mark III turrets, which will attack any of my units should I move around within their reception range. And speaking of our crew, here are our band of heroes. We have the Chosen One being played by a sole survivor. They're equipped with a 12.7mm pistol and a spear that I've dubbed the Spirit of Arroyo. K9 using the Rex unit card. He's equipped with a dog bite, dog bandana, and a chain dog collar, giving him a little bit more survivability. Then we have Cassidy, who's going to be played by a Psycho Raider unit card. I've taken a couple liberties with Cassidy, I've given him the ability to use shotguns on his pistol skill. So he's equipped with a combat shotgun, tire iron, and combat armor, which does mean he's going to have less movement range because of the Psycho's special rule, but I think that survivability is going to be way more worth it. And last but not least is a unit that is playing his own unit card. We have Marcus. It's technically from the New Vegas expansion, but Marcus is Marcus in both video games, so why wouldn't he have the same stats? He's got his Marcus Punch along with some super mutant armor, and I've given him a minigun as well to match the awesome custom mini that was made for me by friend of the channel, LKK Painting, in this awesome pose. It's time to find out if our crew can survive running the Enclave oil rig gauntlet. Let's get into the action on round 1. Well, top of round 1, and there's really, nothing else to do but to get moving here. So let's go ahead and do just that with the Chosen One. All these doors are closed until we interact with them. Opening the door, we will then flip the card and reveal Computer Room. Ooh, okay, so this will potentially enable us to open a back door, which would open here and lead us directly into the Frank fight, but we need to generate the room first, so let's do that. As before our very eyes, this turns into the computer core. Here we have our computer core room. We've got 2 searchables at either end here. We've got a robot control station in the middle, a computer, which we could hack to maybe open that back door, and some terminals here. But that's not it, that's not all. We also need to roll and see if we have any occupants or incidents, so let's see what we get. That is just the doors open, which means we're actually going to then open this next set of doors, which is then going to reveal our next room. Draw here live, it is going to be the control room, which in the case of our scenario rules is going to be President Dick Richardson's office. which you see in front of you now with Tricky Dick and his crew of Enclave Scout Trooper bodyguards. The Chosen One then finishes off her turn by moving once to get some cover and get closer to some of these items. And our trooper on the far side here is going to be the first to go, and because they're within presence range of the president here, they get to roll for VATS, and on an explosion, they'll get an action point. No dice, that's a star, but that's okay. They did get attack for their first action, and they got that red movement, so they're going to move once, just over here, get a bit of cover by these barrels, and then take a shot through the open door. So it's going to be the plasma rifle at long range, hitting on 6s. That is a miss. Back to our side, and K9 goes next, moving into the computer core room with the sole survivor, and using their second action to get in contact with a searchable marker. Let's see what we reveal. Never mind, that's a danger card. For our danger card, we got Under Pressure. The mental pressure is intense, eyes twitching as your vision blurs, hands shocking, your feet seemingly stuck to the ground. If your force is outnumbered by the enemy on the battlefield, which we currently are not, test Charisma. Pass, no effect, or fail, well, we would get stunned. But in this case, we are going to get away with it. We are not outnumbered. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 to 1, 2, 3 Enclave troopers. President Richardson, aka Colonel Autumn, got the defend action, which in this case he's going to want to take a pot shot at the closest enemy. But first we need to see if he gets an action point on the VATS. Ooh, he does, and part of Colonel Autumn's AI card is that he can use criticals and luck. So indeed, he does have some action and some abilities there, so he's going to gain an extra action point. Ouch. President's first pistol shot through cover, hitting on 6s. No special effects from the bottles there, so it's just going to be 2 damage on a 4+1 armor because of cover. Stops it all and is going to lose Survivor's strong armor token from a K9 there, but we have another shot from El Presidente here. Let's see what we get again on 6s. That is going to be a miss. Well, here, Cassidy's going to go and try to give some backup to K9. Just make 2 moves. Maybe, yeah, we'll go this way, try to get some cover from those Enclave plasma weapons to maybe charge in or do some shotgunning. And our last Scout Trooper here is just going to take 1 move, not even near their full red movement, just to get a better shot on K9 here within close range through that door, but it'll still be through cover. Plasma rifle hitting on 4s. Ooh, that is a swing and a miss. And that just leaves minigun Marcus, who's going to move once through the open door here, and then he's going to unleash that minigun at close range. Marcus hits true with the minigun and absolutely tears through the Enclave trooper. Ooh, a devastating minigun barrage, and the trooper is toast. But that's going to be it for the first round. We still have 2 Enclave members here to deal with. Another mystery room coming up, Sergeant Granite, and don't forget Frank Horrigan himself. Long way to go, short time to get there. Let's get into round 2. Top of round 2, and here we go. Enclave's going first. I forgot to place the searchables when I generated this room, but the President's desk as well as the Snooka-Cola machine have some goodies that we could potentially get. But it's going to be this troopers go here first, and they got the attack action, and they're just going to take 2 shots into our boy K9. One of the trooper's shots misses, but the other hits home, dealing 1 point of damage to K9. Cassidy looks to return the favor by moving once and taking a shot at the same trooper with his combat shotgun, but the shot goes way wide. I'm going to move over to our sole survivor / chosen one here, and they're just going to take 1 move to get within range of this item here and also get a clear shot on good old Mr. President. Let's see what we get for the item. Ooh, a computer test. Ooh, that's kind of tempting. You know what? Yeah, let's go for it. Okay, chosen one, going for the hack, a computer test. If we pass, we get an item. If we fail, we get a danger card and an item. So looking for a 5 to hack the planet. Oh, and not only did we hack the planet, we got an action point out of the deal. So we're gonna get an item and we're going to get a quick action. So let's finally go over to our big bad Wasteland deck here and see what we draw. We're just gonna go right from the top, and we got a cattle prod. Okay, a little melee weapon there to add to the Chosen One's handy-dandy trusty spear. Very cool. Adding some stuns, that could be an option there as well. So we've got that in our back pocket. Now I think, well, you know what? I think we just take a shot. Yeah, I think we take a shot with a 12.7 millimeter pistol into El Presidente. Chosen One with the That gun, taking a shot, hitting on, well, 5s in cover on the President. We got a critical hit with 2 extra damage. That's 4 damage coming in through on the President. He's only got 1 armor because of the cover there, so let's see. Ooh, stops 1, takes 2. 2 hit points down on Tricky Dick there, and we got ourselves a cool little cattle prod out of the deal, but that's going to be our turn, leaving it only over to the President. The President tries to generate an action point, but fails, and takes 2 shots into the sole survivor. 1 of them hits, and 1 of them goes wide. And that's just going to leave it up to Marcus on my turn, and you know what, we're just going to move twice, not as full movement, but just to get around the couch there so we can take some shots at either one of those guys on our next turn. And last up is K9 here, who's going to make a big, massive blue charge into this Enclave trooper and try to take him down. K9's first attack misses, but the second hits, dealing 2 damage to the trooper. We're finally busted into the President's office here. We got Marcus and K9 leading the way with our human companions following up the rear. I think we're going to be able to take out Dick and the gang here this turn, but we'll see what's waiting for us in our last mystery room. Let's get into round 3. And it is Enclave up first. The Scout Trooper got the first activation, and the attack AI action going to take 2 ranged attacks into K9 at close combat. Both shots land, dealing 1 hit point apiece, leaving K9 with just 1 health remaining. But not down for the count yet, K9 attacks back and takes the trooper out of the game. No armor, it's all gonna go right through and take the last trooper down, but now that leaves Colonel Autumn / President Richardson. Well, and Tricky Dick got again the defend action, which is in this case an attack, and the closest target is K9. So let's see if K9 can survive. President Richardson on 8s. That'll do it. That is more than enough damage, I believe, to take him out. That's 3 damage on 2 armor. Well, let's just see. Yeah. It all blows through. K9, sadly, is the first of our forces to fall. And that was only Tricky Dick's first shot, because he's going to take another going into Marcus. Same thing, hitting on 8s. Oh my gosh, it hits for 4 damage and an armor break. That sucks. Okay, so Marcus has only 2 armor. So 2 armor on 1, well, 1 armor now broken down. It all goes through. Marcus just took 4 hit points. Oh no! Well, we are certainly more bruised and bloody than we were an activation ago. K9 is dead, and Marcus is hanging on with only a couple hit points left. That is going to bring it back to my side, and it's time to take this fool down. Seeing a chance to put the President down, the sole survivor moves once and takes a shot, dealing 4 damage, leaving him with just 1 hit point left. Then I think we're going to give that up to Marcus here to take a shot with the minigun. Oh, and just like that, the first shot of the minigun was all we needed to get it done. A critical hit with 1 damage, 2 damage total, brings him way past his hit points, and the President is down. And just as abruptly as the combat began, it ends, at least for now, depending on what we find in this next room. But our crew here can now sort of, well, loot the President's office, and I think that's exactly what we'll do. We'll get Marcus here just to move once up to the old desk and give it a loot and see what we got. That is a danger and an item card. For our danger card, we got medical waste. Your arm brushes against some old needles protruding from a medical waste bucket. Oh, I wonder what the President was shooting up behind his desk. Test endurance. If we pass, then we remove 1 bit of damage, which Marcus, he could use that. And if we fail, he's going to take 1. Well, and with an endurance of 10, likelihood is good on this. Hey, there you go. We got it. So Marcus is going to lose 1 of his damage, which is good. So now he only has 3 hit points down, and we get to draw from our Wasteland deck. So let's see what we got from the top. Jet! Hey, look at that, a little bit of chemical get up and go. That could come in handy. And to end the round, Cassidy moves twice, getting in contact with his searchable marker, revealing a free item and drawing a mysterious serum. Having defeated President Richardson and looting his office, we now have the presidential key card, which we can use with the sole survivor to hack any one of the computer terminals that we find in any of these rooms. You know what, I'm gonna save it for now, just in case we get a really cool, fun room in this side, because I don't think I really want to open the back door and, well, jump to the fight with Frank. I want to go through this dungeon crawl and see what we got. So I'm going to save the key card for maybe whatever we get in this room, but it's time to get rolling. And I think I'll get started with Cassidy at the start of this round 4 and move him up to our doorway here and open up our last mystery room. So let's see what we reveal. It is the security wing. Okay, this is going to be a fun one. Another guaranteed fight in here with some Enclave troopers, but we could potentially gain access to the turret controls for the final fight. This could be a big one, but we need to see what's happening in this room first, as it goes from a storage area, a security checkpoint with 3 Enclave troopers inside. We've got 1 Enclave scientist here checking out these computers. Then we've got a regular Enclave soldier in power armor with a plasma rifle and a Enclave warrant officer. So these 2 are gonna get those Enclave stacking castle buffs. So this could be a little bit interesting. That was Cassidy's very first activation, or action during his activation, so I think we're just gonna take a shot through cover with the shotgun at that scientist. Cassidy with the combat shotgun hitting on 3s. And go figure, that's a miss. No joy on that attack, and it's gonna go over to the soldier first. Now he's within the presence range of the warrant officer, so he's actually gonna get an extra green dice for this because of his Enclave training abilities. So he's gonna take some shots in at Cassidy. He has cover, so he's gonna be hitting on 5s. That is a big time hit with the first. We gotta find my armor dice here. It's gonna be 3 armor because of cover on 2 damage. Stops at both. That's a pretty lucky for our man Cass. And then we're gonna go again here with another shot, same thing on 5s. That one's a miss, thankfully. Well, we got away with the plasma shots there, but I think it's time for Marcus to get going with that big minigun. He's just gonna move once to get up to the door and open it up, just enough to stick the barrel through, and then take a shot. We're actually gonna shoot with the, let's gonna try to take out the warrant officer. I figure if we can pop her, then we can bust the Enclave buffs that these 2 are getting. So let's see what we can do. Marcus lands a hail of bullets on the warrant officer, taking her down with 4 hits from the minigun and moving the 5th walk fire shot onto the Enclave soldier. But that shot does no damage. That's gonna be Marcus's activation, so that's just gonna leave it up to the scientist. The scientist moves once to get some cover and takes a shot at Cassidy with their laser pistol, but thanks to the cover, he blocks all the damage. A quick editor Ryan's note that I miscounted the armor when I initially did that roll and assigned Cassidy that 3 damage, but remembered about it on subsequent rolls and went back and had to redo the math. Hey, that's what happens when you're doing battle reports all by yourself. Well, it's now over to the chosen one here, and I'm kind of torn on what to do. I could either take some shots into the Enclave soldier there, but I think it might be best to maybe tie him up. So let's see, can I charge in? Oh yeah, I'm within charge range. So you know what, I'm gonna do just that. I'm gonna charge in with a mighty Arroyo battle cry and attack this idiot with either my spear or, actually, you know what? Let's go with the cattle prod. Chosen one with the cattle prod, hitting on 5s. But that's it for this round. We removed some pretty high up Enclave personnel with that warrant officer there. But Marcus, on the other hand, and the Chosen One are doing a good job. Hopefully they can take these guys out Let's see what happens. Well, we are into, I believe, the 5th round now, and Enclave's up first. Soldier got the first go, and they got the break engagement reckless ranged action. So they're just gonna move once, just to get out of contact with the chosen one there to take a shot, but that is gonna give us a chance to make an attack of opportunity, so maybe we get to stun this guy. That would be pretty lucky. Cattle Prod hitting on 3s because of the quick action. Fail. Well, the Enclave Soldier's now gonna get a chance to take their shot at the chosen one here, hitting on 7s. Ooh, that's a hit for 4 damage, but we've got a lot of energy armor. 3 energy armor, because we've already lost our +1 strong armor bonus. Come on, 3 on the dice. Okay, a 2. That could have been better, could have been worse. Death by 1,000 cuts here. We're just slowly bleeding hit points. We need to find some healing items, and fast. But we are going to gain a yellow die, bonus die for Marcus because of his ability getting some damage on the Soul Survivor there. Gives him some armor break ability, which I think is exactly what we're going to do. And with that epic green charge range, Marcus is able to get all the way over to this other side here. He's got that yellow die from his special ability. He's gonna take an extra black for the charge, and he's gonna get an extra black for the +7 strength bonus. So let's see what we can do. The attack hits, but even with all of those bonus dice, Marcus is only able to deal 1 hit point because of that strong Enclave power armor. The scientist activates next for the Enclave and takes 2 shots at Cassidy, dealing 2 points of damage. Well, back to our side, just Cassidy and the Soul Survivor left to go. But I think we're gonna go with the chosen one here and try to open this weapons locker. So we'll do a lockpick test, looking for a 5 or lower. Crit fail on the first, second time around. Hey, that'll do it with an action point. Okay, so I've gone through the Wasteland deck and picked out all of the weapons because each of these lockers are weapon specific according to the card. So that's what we're gonna do. We've mixed them all up and we're going to get a Plasma Defender. That is a significantly better gun than the 12.7mm. So we're just gonna go ahead and equip that right away and then spend that action point we gained to prepare. And as for Cassidy here, well, I think we're just gonna go for a big old charge because we got the range into the Enclave Soldier and try to give Marcus some backup. Cassidy with an outnumbered attack with his tire iron into the Enclave Soldier. Black dice for the bonus and a green for outnumbering. Here we go, 7s or under. Okay, that does it. We hit with an armor break, so not the best, not the best. We could have used some extra armor penetration on that, but hey, that's the way she goes. But that's okay. 2 damage on now 2 + 1 strong armor. Die is cocked. Stops 1, takes 1. 1 more point of damage on the soldier there. We just need to do 1 more hit point to break his Enclave armor, and that should be a lot easier to take him down. But we're going into round 6. Oh, and we've got to survive long enough to go deal with Granite. So let's get into it. Top of round 6, Enclave Soldier gets the go-ahead again, and of course that reckless break engagement action. So he's gonna pull off here to try to get a shot off on the Soul Survivor chosen one, but that is gonna trigger 2 opportunity attacks from Marcus and Cassidy. And the big old power punch from Marcus lands home, doing just enough armor break on the roll to punch through and flip the Enclave Soldier's power armor to the damaged side. A banger of an armor breaking roll here from Marcus has now broken the Enclave Soldier's power armor, so now it's time for Cassidy to swing as well. Hitting on 5s. That is an 8, -3 is 5. So now with his Enclave armor, he's got 3 armor on 2 damage. Stops 1, takes 1. A bloody barrage of opportunity attacks has broken the Enclave Soldier's power armor to its degraded side. But that was just the opportunity attacks. Now we actually have to see what the soldier is going to do, taking a shot into our survivor. Enclave Soldier on 7s. I would like it if he missed. He hits with 1 armor break. So 2 damage, 3 energy armor. Stops 1, takes 1. One more damage on the chosen one. They're hanging on by just a couple hit points, but we are going to get to now activate our reaction token. So a quick action attack with that new fancy plasma defender, looking for 5s. Okay, so that is a 6 down to a 3. So we hit with an extra damage, 3 damage. So 3 damage, 2 armor. If we roll anything higher than a 2, he just dies. Oh, he stops 2, takes 1. It's now back to our side. You know what? Because he's already activated, I'm going to try to remove some activations here. I'm going to activate Marcus, charge him into this scientist, and try to take him down with the punch. Super Mutant versus Scientist. Here we go. Marcus with a black for the charge, a black for being super strong. This is going to be hitting on 9s. Well, would you look at that? We get a quick action. The scientist breaks engagement and tries to finish off Cassidy with a laser pistol shot, but goes wide. We also have an opportunity attack from Marcus to do here first. So, hitting on 7s. Ooh, that's going to be a hit with an extra damage, so it's 3 damage, just goes right through. He only has 1 hit point left. Seeing his chance for revenge, Cassidy charges in and tries to put him down with the tire iron. Hitting on 7s. Oh, that does it. A devastating charge from Cassidy takes the Enclave soldier out of the running, and now it's just gonna be up to the chosen one. Okay, here we go. It's time to clear this room. Plasma Defender, 2 shots. Hit looking for 7s. Okay, that hits with just 2 damage. Anything but a 2, and that soldier is gooped. Hey, there we go. Armor fully blown past. The Plasma Defender hits home, taking out the last Enclave soldier in this room. And with the security room cleared, we now get to sort of play cleanup a little bit here. So I think first and foremost, we'll go ahead and get the sole survivor here to go and try to do a lockpick test. Try to get ourselves another weapon. So let's see here, looking for a 5. A 9's not going to do it, so we'll have to get someone else to give that a try. But over here, we've got Cassidy, and I'm gonna move him into contact with the computers and spend the presidential key card that we got in the last room to activate the terminals, allowing us to now gain control of Frank Horrigan's turrets in the final battle. So that is going to be a big boon for us. But the thing is, we gotta get there first. We've got Marcus here, so I think he's going to go and try to unlock this weapon. Never mind, Marcus has no lockpicking ability, so he's not going to do that. He's just going to get himself into position, waiting for that door to open, depending on what happens with Mr. Granite. So I guess it's just gonna be up to Cassidy to take some moves, brings us into round 7, and then see if we can get ourselves in there. Well, Cassidy has an intelligence of 2, so, well, let's see if he can pull this off. Nope, he does not, but that's okay. It's back to the sole survivor. We'll try this one more time, and then maybe it's time to move on. Hey, would you look at that? Just as I say something, we get lucky. So time to go for that Wasteland weapon deck again. And from our Wasteland weapon deck here, we get, oh baby, the super sledge. Well, I think we just hand that right off to Marcus to maybe make some use of, because that's gonna be nasty. But first, it's time to go and introduce ourselves to Granite. The sole survivor moves up to the door, triggering our cutscene here, but now we have to roll a charisma test. If we pass, he's on our side. If we fail, well, grab that plasma defender. This roll could very well make or break this entire battle report. We're looking for a 5 or under to have Granite join our side. That is a Critical success. And then there were 4, well, again, because we had 4 earlier when K9 was still alive. But we have Sergeant Granite on our side. He's kitted out in some Enclave power armor, and he's got that Tesla baton. So that's going to be probably a pretty handy thing against Frank. And speaking of which, there's nothing left to do but head in to the final room.
You've gotten a lot farther than you should have. But then you haven't met Frank Horrigan either.
And it's time for the final showdown. Frank is deployed within red of his board edge, and we get to deploy within yellow of ours. There's these 2 sort of jersey barricades here, and these shelving units, which we'll be able to hopefully get some useful items out of, and then the turrets, which have been turned on our side. So let's just go ahead and turn them towards Frank, so it's a little less menacing for us and a little bit more menacing for him. So they're going to act just as turrets do. Whenever Frank does anything, basically within their presence range, they're going to shoot at him within the round. They're going to have 3 shots. Let's see if they'll hopefully do some plinking damage, but let's get ourselves deployed. And we are ready to roll. I've gone with the heavies in the middle behind these barricades here. Hopefully they'll draw some fire from Frank, and then we've got our little runners off to the side who will make a play for these items and see what we get. But Frank's gonna get to go first and foremost before any of that happens. With the ranged attack action, Frank fires 2 shots with his plasma gun into Sergeant Granite and absolutely liquefies his armor outright. Ooh, a deadly opening barrage from Frank the tank, but it is going to draw the attention of the turrets. Well, 2 turrets are going to get 2 shots apiece. The first one is a miss, second is also a miss, third... Ooh, that one's a hit just on the dot. Well, I guess by 1. That's going to be on his 6 armor, though. Blocks it all. 2 on 2. And the last one is also a miss. Ooh, shots fired from Frank, and the turrets helped us out with a little bit of suppressing fire, but it's time now to go to our side. And I think first things first, I'm going to activate the chosen one, but I'm going to take the jet, which is going to give me a quick action and as well as a quick move slash charge. So first and foremost, I also get a prepare action out of the deal, but I'm going to move once to about there, and then a quick move, half distance, yeah, perfect, to get up within this item and see what we get. Ooh, a lockpick danger item. So we've got a lockpick skill of 7. Ooh, that is a 6. We pull it off, no danger card required. So let's go ahead and pull from our Wasteland deck here and see what we got. Caravan Lunch. Well, that will conveniently remove 3 action points, 3 hit points from the Soul Survivor. Kind of poetic there, and add a green accuracy die. Well, not taking too kindly to having his power armor busted, Sergeant Granite's gonna take a shot back with the Tesla cannon into Frank, hitting on 7s. Ooh, just hits with 2 armor breaks, breaking his 6 armor down to 4, so he could still break all of this 2 damage. Nope, he stops 1, takes 1. Well, I guess technically Granite would have moved up here first to gain control of the cover and then shoot. But same principle will apply for our guy Marcus. We're just going down the firing line here, and he's going to take a shot with the minigun. Marcus fires into Frank, but because he's at long range and only 1 base damage weapon, he's not able to punch through that 6 armor. Cassidy, in the meantime, is going to use his turn to move and reveal our last searchable of the mission, which is a search danger test. Okay, well, but Cassidy actually isn't half bad at this. He's got a search skill of 5. But that is an 8, so that's not gonna do it. We need to draw a danger card. For our damage card, we got damaged weapon. Uh-oh. With your concentration elsewhere, you fumble your weapon onto the ground. Flip -2. If it shows -2, place that next to your model. It applies to only 1 weapon held by this model. Choose which, excluding improvised weapon. Well, but rather than do a flip, we're going to roll a 50-50 luck die. If it comes up lucky, no effect. No effect. We get away with it, Mr. Cassidy. So we get our last and final draw from the Wasteland deck. Let's see what we get. Oh, Enclave Power Armor. One of 2 Power Armor cards that were in this deck. That's pretty awesome. Well, I guess that means somebody's suiting up. From plain old Wastelander Cassidy to an Enclave armored badass Cassidy. He still retains the 2 damage that he had to his hit points, but he basically just gains 3 extra hit points and better armor all the way across the board. Not too friggin' shabby. That is going to be the end of what I believe is technically round 8. So I think we're about to break into the longest battle report in WGNR history territory. Let's head into it together in round 9. Top of the round, and Frank is back in action. He got, again, reckless ranged attack, but realizing that these turrets are no longer his friends, he's going to open up fire on them, starting with the one at the top here. So Frank the Tank hitting on 8s. Ooh, that's a big hit with an armor break, bringing the turret's armor down from 2 to 1. Ooh, which it stops, but still takes 2 damage. Firing again, and that is also a hit. Same thing with the armor break, and that all goes right through for 3 damage. And with only 5 hit points, that is 1 less turret on our side, but it did soak up 1 of Frank's activations, meaning it's our go turn. The remaining turret fires back at Frank twice and surprisingly deals 2 damage. Starting again with old Sergeant Granite, seeing if we can't maybe flip Frank before we maybe send the rest of the gang in headlong. Incoming Tesla Cannon hitting on 7s. That is a miss. Ooh, and this is a slow firing weapon, meaning we are not going to be able to fire. Again, Sergeant Granite just hanging out there. Maybe we spend his turn to prepare. We're gonna go with the Sole Survivor. They're gonna move once, just stay within cover of this set of boxes here, and then they're going to shoot with the 12.7 millimeter at long range because, well, the Plasma Defender's not in range, and I don't want to fully put myself out of there yet. So, 12.7 millimeter hitting on 7s. And all of that talk for nothing. Swing and a miss. Well, now we're going to move over to Cass here and see if he can get some shots downrange. Combat shotgun hitting on 5s. Ooh, that is a hit for 4 damage. 4 damage, 6 armor. Stops 2, takes 2. That's going to flip Frank from card 1 to card 2. Frank 1 is now Frank 2, but he would have gained a black token when he was still Frank 1 from his enraged ability, but he will gain enough criticals on his next activation because of his new combat card to activate his plasma gun's crit ability. So that'll be something to see, but first up, before that happens, is Marcus, and I think I just need to send him in. A yellow move and a green charge gets Marcus up into the action. He'll take a black die as well for his power up to hopefully withstand the power of Frank's attack. Well, disregard, it's not going to be his knife. It's again going to be the plasma gun. He moves, again getting that reckless break engagement, shoot action, and then he's going to do just that. Overcharging the plasma gun, it's time to activate that critical attack. It hits automatically, but here are the dice effects on 4 damage with 2 automatic armor break. Yep, that's gonna do it. That more than double breaks the armor that he has because of the critical effect, and then just deals 4 damage to Marcus. That is rough. He only has 2 hit points left. The little turret that could responds and fires twice into Frank, dealing 3 damage. These things are really helping out. And we also get our opportunity attack, charge style, from Marcus. This has potential to be tasty. We've got a whole bunch of dice, a black from the charge, black for super strong, and that super sledge coming out to play. Hitting on 7s because of quick attack. Ooh, Dolly Parton. That's going to break Frank's arm, and deal a possible 4 damage on... Nope, excuse me, 5 damage on 4 armor. He stops 1, takes 4, flipping him to his last card. The reaction attack of all reaction attacks. Marcus flips Frank to his final form, the final form. We are here, and I think it's only fitting that we try to take him down right here, right now, with the Chosen One. And as crazy as this sounds, I think it's time for a charge. We're just gonna run in and try to see if we can finish off Frank himself with the Spear of Arroyo. The Chosen One, all jacked up on Jet, gets a free prepare token and is going to make an attack. A black for the charge and a whole bunch of wacky dice for the Spear of Arroyo. Here we go, hitting on 5s. Oh, correction, hitting on 7s, and that is just going to do it, because I forgot the Jet gives us a +2 to strength, so we just pull it off there, and what a hit to do it with as well. 3 damage, because it's only a base 1 damage weapon, on Frank's 3 physical armor. It all goes right through. That means Frank only has 1 hit point left. This is all just too epic that I think I'm just gonna skip Sergeant Granite and just let him prepare and watch this wild tribal try to take down the biggest, baddest creature the Wasteland's ever seen. Because that's where we're gonna end this round and move into, I think, round 11. All the drugs have worn off from the Jet. Still haven't used the Mysterious Serum on Cassidy. I guess I should probably do that before the end of the game. But we're just going to roll right into Frank's turn and see if the Sole Survivor can hold up. Ooh, now Frank got the melee attack action into our Chosen One here, but he does have that broken arm from Marcus's quick action attack, so he's only going to be hitting on crits and action points. But here's the deal, he gets all these dice for his sword because he's on his final form. Whew, he misses with the first. He is going to get to attack again. And that is a crit fail. We are getting away with it. And that is also going to trigger another reaction attack from the Sole Survivor, which now is just going to be, let's see here, with no drugs in effect, just going to be attacking, hitting quick action on a 3. Frank has 1 hit point left. Ah, we missed. That would have been too perfect. But we are just going to get to rinse and repeat that attack, this time at full strength, because we're just going to activate the Sole Survivor again, hitting on 5s this time. Spear of Arroyo. That is a crit for 2 damage and an armor break, meaning that is going to be 2 damage on 2 armor. Damn it, he stops it all, but that's okay. We're going to swing again as we stab and critically fail. Oh, we could have used that before. We would have taken him down, but it's not going to be the Sole Survivor who gets it done today. I think the glory gets to go to Marcus. A charge move in with Marcus, and here we go. It's going to be an absolute dice salad. Charge bonus black, extra strong black, the sledgehammer outnumbered, hitting on 9s. Jesus Louises, that is all of the hits. That's going to rip through his armor, dealing 3 damage on the Secret Serviceman himself, mutant on mutant crime, who could not take the hit. Against all odds, our heroes have overcome the impossible and defeated Frank Horrigan. They make a mad dash for the exit with the oil rig collapsing all around them, knowing that they're lucky to be alive. What a wild battle. There were ups and downs. There were a couple times that I thought we were never even going to make it to Frank Horrigan, let alone take him down. But what an epic fight from the first battle in President Richardson's office all the way over into the final fight with Frank. That was an absolute blast. And stay tuned for our next Fallout Legends battle report, where we'll move on down the line to Fallout 3, where we'll have the Lone Wanderer face off against some mutants with the Brotherhood of Steel. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss our next battle report. And if you want to help us make more videos more often for you to enjoy, then why don't you check out our links in Patreon or hit the little join button here on YouTube, where for as little as $3 Canadian per month, you can help us make more videos that you can enjoy here on WGNR. And you get all kinds of kickbacks like double entry into future WGNR giveaways, access to polls which help us determine content here on the channel, and you could even become a future named character in a battle report or live stream. So thank you again so much for watching, and stay tuned because as always, WGNR will be back.